So here we go. I think we are live. Okay, so I just finished checking a couple of extra features like Nightbot. I just added like Nightbot for a couple of commands into the chat in case anyone is interested to like know about the keyboard like website or Instagram or whatever. And yeah, let's start from where we left off, which is our editor. So in here, last time I was able to like move the example that I had before, like at least partially the example that I had before in HTML to like the Nuxt project. And yeah, right now I'm doing a little bit of more testing. So first of all, last time I found out an issue with the canvas from Fabric, and basically you cannot have, apparently you cannot have the canvas to be a reference inside of view. And the reason is that if I do something like this is still going to work, but when you try to click on something you cannot like edit. But then if you select multiple elements, then you try again, it works. And the reason for this issue apparently is that FabricJS doesn't like to have to interact with like proxy objects, and whenever you like create a reference inside of view, that's actually not just a variable, it's just it's a proxy value, because it needs to react also to different changes and re-render. So my guess is that we are going to use we are just going to use a simple value for that. And in order to use the value, probably I will also use Pinia store to store them. But yeah, let's see where that goes. So first of all, like I have a couple of elements already in here, so I can edit stuff. Just a second. So the canvas. Let me refresh. Okay, so now it works. And yeah, if we want to have an editor, we will need to have like this will be like our scene, and then we need to add different commands, like the palette of commands and different options. So we're going to have like a main page. Let's see if I can. Okay. So the idea would be like we have the screen, right? And then we are going to create something like a scene in the middle, in here, and then probably a panel here for all the options. And one thing is it would be nice to have like a bigger scene here and a floating panel with all the possible options that you can have for I don't know, for the SVG editor itself. So whenever you want to set it, something like this thing here. So I like it, and maybe I would like to have it on the left side, or I don't know, somewhere around here, and you can select the different things that you want to put inside of your canvas, and then you can just export them. So that would be like the main idea. So let's see how to do this. So one other thing that I wanted to figure out also was the zoom. So being able to like zoom in and out, but I'm not sure whether I want to do it at the canvas level or at the DOM level. So whenever we are zooming in, we are actually keeping the size of the canvas to be like always the same size, but then when we are zooming, we are just like enlarging the object. So inside the transform will still be the same, and we are going only just to scale the canvas itself. So let's see how to do that. So first of all, we don't have pages. We don't have pages like this. hello world page, and then I probably also would like to have like layouts, default layout. Okay, and in here we're going to have like the next, not really, maybe just a slot for the page itself. And then for the styling, I will probably use at some point some example from here. They have some cool examples for like dashboards and stuff. So I recently saw like this thing here for like options. If you have I don't know, like the sidebar on the side or something around those lines. So that would be pretty cool, I think, to have. And yeah, like sidebar here. Yeah, it was just a filter. Okay, so maybe there are also other ways to have the side. Yeah, like for example this one which is like a small one. This looks like Notion. Also this one is pretty cool with the tree view. Yeah, we'll see about that. So let's first start with the functionality part, then I will like improve the way it looks. So where are we? We're at the default here. Inside of the APP we are going to not use the scene and the button anymore, but the next layout, and then the next page. Now one thing that bothers me is the lack of prettier here. It's both prettier and EasyLint that are missing in the current project configuration. It would be probably interesting to add them, but at least for now I'm not going to do that. At least maybe just prettier, because it's bothersome to not have it. And then, I also need to create the repository for the project and have like the starting commit. So okay, right now I have the page indexing here, so this is working. And instead of this, I'm going just to have a div with the scene inside. The scene, yeah. So this is working correctly. This is of the expected size. And now we can say, okay, if we have the scene itself could be something like 100 items sent. Okay, and then close this thing. So this is going to have okay, something like this. And then we need to extend it to the fullest size. Okay, I want also the default layout to try and contain as much as possible, so it will be like, can I just do size screen here? Kind of, yeah. And then, oh yeah, I have another useless thing in here, so it's page, yeah, so it's this thing here. Do I need it? No, maybe not. Okay. Refresh. So we have just the container, the canvas in here. We have this one size full, and this one is a size screen. Size screen is actually not being applied correctly, which means that size screen is not a thing. So we probably H and W screen. Yes. So we are going to have this, and this is the canvas right now. Now PG gray, maybe it's a little bit. Let's go with something, yeah. And then the canvas itself, I mean, you can have different backgrounds, but the thing is, by default, I will expect it to be white, and then eventually you can change the default background to something else. So this way we are going to have like just a canvas like this. Okay, so objects of the canvas are currently AWOL. They just disappeared. So the canvas is in here. Oh yeah, of course. If I have the BG white for the canvas like this, it's not going to work ever. So the thing is, I need to create, let me see, FabricJS.com canvas background color or something around these lines. So, oh, okay, background color, it's pretty simple. Canvas background color, yeah, that's the thing, okay. So I can just slide it here, nope, yes, okay, so this is going to work, perfect. And now we have our canvas. So the thing is, we have currently the size of 200 by 200, and basically we can also change it. But we can do a lot of like different things. Like we need to do a lot of different things to interact from the canvas itself and the outside of the canvas. So right now we don't have a reference to the canvas that is going outside of the canvas itself, and this is kind of a problem. This is kind of a problem because I don't want to do everything just in the scene, but maybe something also from the outside. Like for example, if I have different panels in an editor, I could have like different panels and I need to interact with them. So, please no? Okay. So let's suppose, let's suppose we have this thing in here and we have the panel on the right side, right? So they have different options in the panel. Also they have like the dimensions and stuff, so opacity, okay. As we change the opacity, for example, this is interacting with the current object that we have selected, but let's suppose that we have multiple objects, so let's suppose that we have two houses like this. I'm going to select both of them, and then I'm going to change the opacity. So, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm not going to change the opacity. I'm not allowed to change anything. Okay, this is changing like the property of the border of both of them, not of their selection. So this allows me to like change. Okay, so something there that I can do is changing the alignment. Okay, which is expected. This is fine. If I change the size, I'm going to like scale. It's like scaling the entire thing, but I'm not allowed to change, for example, the opacity. While on the other hand, if I change, yes, if I change just the single one, this is fine. Not sure why that's the case. Can I group the objects? Yes, I can group the objects. If I group them, I can change the opacity, but suddenly I lose the ability to change anything else. So those two objects right now are just one, but I cannot change like the color or any other property. Okay. I see. So let's see if we can do something like that as a starter. That's the old one. Okay, so if we are in here, I need Pina, and npx is not going to work, is it? pnpx is not going to work, is it? Okay, Pinyanux, is that installed? Pnpm install Pinyanux. I have this feeling, like it's not even a feeling, it's like almost certain that I'm not installing Nuxi modules in the correct way. I'm pretty sure about that. There should be like a better way to do that. So like right now in Nuxt I have, yeah, Pina is already like imported, but I don't have anything in the store. Let's call it SVG for now, okay? And I need to have an example. Yeah, this is not the right example. I need to have an example of a store, defining a store. Sounds about right. Define store from Pina, use alert store, option store. Okay, and so far I always used the option stores. Like even in other projects I always use the option stores. Now I would like to check out the other version, which is the setup stores, because like I was a hardcore fan of the options API inside of Vue. So from the very beginning, from Vue 2, when I started it was from Vue 2, I always used the options API, and whenever like the composition API came out, I was pretty reluctant to change it, because like for me, like the options API was, everything has the right spot to be in. So for example, like the inside of the components you have like the data mounted, like the different methods and stuff. While on the other side, if you check like for example the composition API, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. But there are some upsides to it, and I started also like using the compositions API more. So yeah, I think I want to try this way of doing the store, since I'm already doing components like this anyway. So this way of doing the stores probably is better. And use counter store. Okay, let's see this example. Store for the SVG. So I want to use SVG store, and this will be like SVG. So count, this is a ref, this is a computed property, this is a function, and you have to return. Reasonable, pretty reasonable. What about the define store? Do you already know about the define store? Do you want me to import it? There is no default import in here. Do you feel like I need to import you? Oh, also there is one extra thing, like here. You like imports, what was it? Deers? Yes, I think it was deers. It was deers, and let's see. Deer stores maybe? I remember something like that. Store. So auto import, yes, I need to have the auto import. Next auto import Pinia store. How was it? Okay, dealers. Okay. Import. Okay, so I'm messing up in here. This is an object. This is not actually the array. So this would be okay, and then oh no, it's going to be stores. Okay, perfect. So if this works correctly right now, there should be no issue in here, right? I mean, I'm not even importing it right now, so there should be no issue whatsoever. But let's suppose that I do. Let's suppose that I'm going to have the SVG store, use SVG store, and I'm importing it from here. Is it supposed to be here? Isn't it like the auto importing? Let's see if that's doing okay right now. SVG store is installed, so should be fine, I guess. Okay, now let me double check something. Okay. So SVG store is in here, and for the SVG store I want to have like a reference to the canvas though. So that's becoming tricky, because I want to have originally I would just create inside of the state, I would create the canvas, and that would be enough, but that would not be. So in here, let's double check. So in here, when we have a state with the option store, yeah. So this thing here, so if those two things are the same thing, so in here, when I define a store, I have a count and then the name, and those things are here as references. But as we said before, we cannot have the canvas as a reference, otherwise it's not going to work correctly. But I guess that when you are using the store, it's not becoming a reference anymore, because there was something called store to refs. Yeah. This thing. Store to refs. So it will take some properties of the store and it will make them references. So I suppose that it's fine if I just like say, okay, I want to have the canvas in here, and this will be a reference to the scene. The scene is here. We used to have a canvas. Yeah, I'd rather have this one for a moment. Okay, and we are going to have our canvas. Then we don't care about this, and we care only about having a canvas. So right now, if I go back to my scene and I have the SVG store, what happens if I... No, I don't want to do it like this, definitely. But I may want to do something like this. SVG store.canvas. We're going to just say, okay, store canvas equal canvas, and then it should hold the reference to it. So that should work. Yes. It's fine. So unless I decide like manually to transform the store value, the store state into a reference, it should not break. It should not become a proxy, and therefore it should not like count as an actual reference. That's my understanding so far, at least. So why not just use an input? Why not just use an input? An input for what? What would you mean with why not just use an input? Because like right now the thing that I'm trying to have is like a reference to that, right? So the entering in text. Oh, you mean in here? The entering in text. Because like the editor itself, right? You may want to, like, if you have a text, right? You may want to just double click on it and just have the automatic ability to like edit it. So my guess is that it's better probably to have it this way. But what I'm trying to have right now is to be able to adapt the properties of what we have in here. So for example, from the canvas, we will have to get like the active object. And I may want to alter the properties that we have inside of the outside of the canvas. We are going to change the property of stuff that is inside of the canvas. That's what I mean. Yeah. So the idea is that the SVG store like is going to be our common element. What properties? Good question. So in here, like for example, let's suppose for a moment, because like CSS properties, kind of, like let's suppose we have SVG, right? So in the case of an SVG, we have, for example, in here, this is another like SVG editor, and we have different properties, like for example, the opacity, we have the border, we have colors and stuff like that. So we want to edit these kind of properties. Okay, and in order to have them edited, we need to like have a panel or something in here, right? And this panel will will be available only if we like select something. So we are currently trying to replicate something like that and create maybe a better version of an SVG editor. So yeah, in this case, like in here, I cannot like modify anything. But my guess, my idea is, let's have like a panel that will allow me to modify stuff. So just for the sake of trying stuff out, I want to create like a temporary panel that is going to use the store as a bus, as a common element between like the canvas and the list of properties, and then we are going to check out how to operate it. I would start probably with the opacity. So first of all, this is like temporary thing. So this would be like property panel. And since later on I will probably want to also have not only like SVGs, but maybe other like images and stuff, the property panel should be editable. So it should contain multiple types of properties, and some of those properties could be shared. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let me try first to get something running. So let's start by saying. Have it set up. Okay, so let's have our SVG store. Okay, and in here, for the time being, we are just going to have one property, which is like the opacity property. So let's keep it simple. Opacity will be like the reference. We're going to have it, and 100 is fine. In the template, I will want to have probably multiple elements, everything into a column. And if I want to have, let's start with an input. And the input itself because later on I want to have like the drag, like this, not the switch. It's like the draggable component. Why Vue? Why Vue? Because I really like it. I currently am using it at work a lot, and I rather use Vue than React. I used React before. It's fine. It's better than Angular, but still I like better Vue than React. Yeah. So there are also other options out there, like for example Solid, I guess, and Svelte. But I don't know. Changing frameworks too often, like I feel that it's going too fast anyway. So if I just focus on one, at least I will try to get decent at one of them. While if I keep it like switching, I feel like I will switch every single year. It's not even in a year. Every single 6 months, I would like change another framework. So in this case, let's try to have. Actually, I prefer maybe to have something like this with the value. So opacity, and then when we have the input or actually the change, we are going to like update on change opacity value. This should be change value on change opacity. Change opacity, and that should be like the event type number, so it's like event target. What was that? I always forget, like was it like target value or something like this? You can figure that out. Value. So let's see. Let me close this one here. Okay, and this is like the on change. Yeah, so I can't see like some clear like issues, so probably it's just yeah, we will figure it out eventually. So pages, let's start with having I don't know, flex a gap. Do I need a gap? Probably not. But I want to have the panel. I need to have property panel. Yeah, property panel. Fastest type rotation. Not really, man. I wish. So we are going to have yeah, this one. This one is actually accepting also like text right now, so let's forget about it. Opacity, okay, functional change opacity. I have the value in here. Change. I'm missing clearly something for the input, which is why it's not displaying. Oh, it's just undefined in here. Property panel, line 10. What's about on input? How does that sound? Undefined multiple times. Lovely, absolutely lovely. So of course it's because I didn't match the thing. Okay, perfect. So I will have this. I have data, and I need to have the value of the input right now. I need to have the value of the input, and where is the value? The data is just the latest one. So because of course this is the event on the input side. So change. How about on change? Change is not being triggered. View input on change. I need to see. Input event text, event target value. Okay, that's on input. What about change? There should be a change event listener also. Check property change event. Okay, that's it. I'm pretty sure there should be a change event. Whereas the other thing that we can do is just use simply like the model. Mouse or trackpad, currently mouse, but I wish I had like the trackpad. The thing is I have it on my laptop, but I currently like switched to the Mac Mini. So after I switched to the Mac Mini, I haven't yet like committed to the purchase of like a trackpad. but for some stuff it's the mouse is good enough. I think the mouse is good enough. So let's try with the vmodel, the model of the opacity, and what we want to have most likely is the opacity value, and then we are going to change console log this one. Let's see if this works. So from input bindings, let's see. Yep, this is working. So now it would be nice if we have just 9 numbers. So type number. Yeah, we are not accepting strings anymore. Okay, and then we want to have, of course, the maximum value and the minimum value. So maximum will be 100, minimum is 0, and that also should be fine. Cool. Now let's fix the size of this thing, and let's prevent it from moving. So we have P24. 24 is like 96, sounds about right, yeah. But it's still too small, and I don't like it that much. So it would be like P40 would be better, I guess, and with a border on the left side, just to clearly the border should be of a different color, like border black. And let's not judge the style for now, because it's bad, but we will improve it over time. Right now I just want to make sure that we have like a running example. A running example would be good enough. So first of all, one thing that bothers me is that this thing is still small, because we have this class flex on top of it. Yes, but we are not using it in the correct way. So h full, perfect, now should work. Let's have here maximum is not working, so it's not like actually enforcing the value. Anyway, in here property panel we are going to use the reference to the canvas. So first of all, properties needs to be visible only if there is an active object, meaning that whenever we have like a selection or something, we need to trigger the active object. So let's suppose we are going to have first of all here I want to have the active object, which is the reference to null, to what will be probably a reference to a fabric object or null. Now the thing is the thing is active object will be triggered over the selection. So when I register the canvas, on the scene. I want to also add a couple of event listeners, but the event listeners were FabricJS canvas, add canvas selection or something like that. Selection. I remember that. Oh, but wait, this is just for the selection, right? So I'm not actually creating any event. What I want to do instead is to register the event. Yes, this one. I was looking for this one, and we did it before. I guess we did it already before in a previous stream. So wait a second. What did I do? Okay. So I can actually add these event listeners in here. We can add these event listeners in here, but expected two arguments, but got one. Well, that's not nice. That's not nice because, for example, we have event name and then the handler. Okay, so this example probably is from a different version of FabricJS again, because this one is passing an object with a key value, and the key is the event type, and the value is the event handler. But in this version that I'm using right now, which is 5.3.9 for the types at least, so we can see the version down here. It's different. It's first the event name, and then it's going to pass the handler. meaning that we are going to have, for example, selection created. On selection created, we are going to pass some kind of function with whatever event is this. I have no idea yet. And then this thing. Okay, so let's see if this works. Event. Okay. Let's see if this thing works. Yep, it works. So in here we are having like selected here text as shadow. Okay, perfect. So this one is actually selecting an array of objects, and the objects are the Fabric objects themselves, meaning that whenever I have the selection, I have three possible events, which are like this: the creation, the update, and the deletion. And what I can do in here is let me think. Yes, what I can do in here is to use those events in order to update the reference for the active object. So let's just do this. Whenever I have the console log event in here, actually I have the selected. So if there is an event selected, yeah, I can do. The problem is that I need to know how to handle one specific case. So let's suppose that I select multiple objects, right? In that case, the active object is the group containing them, or those two separate objects. That's my question. So what are we going to do with that? Okay, let's start with just a simple example. So in that case, we are going to, when we have the selection created, we are just going to set for the moment the active object store. The active object, it has to be like the first one, at least for now. So in this case, we are going to say, okay, we have an active object, and if we have the active object, then we can say, okay, I want to display stuff in here. So how do we do that? We're going to say, okay, first of all, this is something that you can see only if the SVG store has an active object. If it doesn't, this doesn't make sense. I mean, you don't have properties, you cannot modify properties of stuff that is not even selected. So the element is missing a tag. I don't think so. But I'm probably missing something here. No? Please fix yourself. Element missing an end tag. Oh, of course. So yeah, it was right. So in here, we are going only to have that one in case we have, yeah, it works. So that's the idea. We have, we are trying to replicate basically this thing. When we have selection of something, we are going to show our properties. We are going to show our properties on the other side. And of course, if we unselect something, we want to have the properties to disappear, meaning that we need to have the active object of the SVG store to disappear. How do we do that? We are going to say in the scene, we are going to create a new event for cleared. Okay. And when you clear stuff, it's going to be null. So we don't need to care about that. But then we may have an update also, updated. And if you have an updated, you will have the newly selected and the deselected. Meaning that the selected, if you update but you actually haven't selected anything, it means that basically you cleared. So I'm not sure how Fabric is handling this kind of thing. Because like clear is you remove everything, but if you update and by updating you remove everything that is selected, is it counting like clear or selected with none? Well, let's consider that case as well. So if event selected, then we are going to have it. Otherwise, basically it's just we are going to clear it if you don't have a selected anything. And the automatic, like the missing of prettier right now, it starts bothering me. And in here, I think that prettier is not even installed, and I want to have it so bad right now. So I'm going just to like fix this opacity thing first, but then the next thing that we need to do is absolutely move to prettier, because otherwise, like these like small things like this is missing a space. This is also like kind of missing a space in here. This is starting to bother me. I don't know about like other like developers, but it's a bit much. Okay, so in here, okay, we are going to have another event, but it's not disappearing. It's not disappearing, meaning that the clear event is not working as expected. It's not working as expected. So let's first of all see if there is an event on clear. Yep, there is an event, and this event should say that the active object is equal to null. So if the active object is equal to null, the property panel should not display anything. Let me see if this event is being actually cached. SVG store active object value. Okay, active. This is pretty rudimentary way of doing debugging, and I see. So once this was changed, it's not going to change it anymore for some reason. Let's see. Let's see. So this is not going to have this kind of property. This is a reference, right? So as a reference, do I need to explicitly say that this is a reference when I'm changing it? Otherwise, it's not going to work. Which is bothersome, but we can figure it out somehow. So let's suppose that we are going to go back for a moment, because I need to figure out whether this is a problem with my new way of using the store or with something else. Could be definitely something else, but I need to check it out. So in here we are going to have the old version. So let me first remove. Oh, we have comments in comments. So nice. So this is useless. Okay. This is still going to be like the use SVG store. This will be like the store SVG. It's fine. In here we are going to have both the canvas, which is now as ref for the fabric object. But I'm not used to use the ref in here. It should be just either fabric object or null. That's my guess. And then we are going to have this is like the fabric canvas. And then we are going to have the active object in here, which is the fabric object or null. Getters, counters, actions, nothing. Let's just wait. Let's leave them empty for now. Okay. So in this way we are using it in the old way of the store. Deselected, but it's still not going to change. Still not going to change the property panel. So what is going on here? What is going on? We have the active object, which should be ideally null when we change the value, when we deselect something, or I have missed something, and yeah, now it works. So basically, copy pasting is not always a solution. I should stop copy pasting randomly stuff. What I want. So let's keep going. We have this cleared event right now. So clear doesn't really matter what it is inside. Like the idea is that it's clearing, so it's going to remove. But we also have answered one thing, which is whenever we are clearing, we are actually not going to have the other side, the other part. I will just keep it for now. But ideally, this should never happen when this line should never happen, basically, because we should never have the case where updating nothing will result in not clearing. So the clearing event will be called instead. Okay. So now that we know that, now that we know that, we can start doing some operations. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to update the opacity of the element when I'm changing the value. So whenever I'm changing the value, means in the property panel in here, I'm going to see change the value, okay, and then we need to take the active object and update the value of the opacity. Okay, so FabricJS object change. Oh, set property. I think so. Set property was it? Yeah. Set. Okay, and this is going to depend on the version again, because either this is going to work or this one or maybe this thing. Many getters and setters, but I don't know if they got rid of them over time. So I think we need to figure that out. So first of all, if we have this thing here, we need to check that we still have the active object active. It will be like the SVG store active object, and then if we have the active, then active set. Okay, that's auto completed. So set opacity, no, set opacity sounds about right, and value. Now the thing is, value could be a number that is not like strictly between two values. We will need to change that probably, but let's see. If I set it now, my understanding of how FabricJS works is this is not going to work immediately. I need to also call the redraw, I guess. But yeah, I'm just changing the value right now, I guess. Let me first figure it out. So we have console active opacity value. Value will be fine. So let's see if this changes anything. Okay, yeah, this like printed like the proxy value for the element, and then we have this value in here. But we need to request the canvas SVG store canvas request renderer. Yeah. Is this going to work? No idea. Nope. So how do we change this value here? Target class. There should be something here like the opacity. Opacity. Yeah. And I see. The opacity is changing, but the canvas doesn't care about that. So we need to find a reliable way to do that, because we need to like redraw the canvas, right? So if I'm doing like request render all, it's one thing, but like render all, that's it. I just force him to render the thing. What happens in that case? Doesn't care either. So nice. So change the dimension position affecting the code set or after changing the property. Otherwise, click area of the object. After changing property, you have to call canvas renderer to re-render all the objects. And this makes sense. But what if it doesn't work? What if I need to change something else? Because I have the element, right? I have the object itself. So if I change the property, it should figure it out, right? What happens if I change something else, like a different property? Like, what is the current... Let's see. I need to change something that visually I can confirm that works. But like, for example, why do we have like text and text lines in here? on caching. Let me see. Probably the position will be the easiest thing to do, but also in this case, this doesn't look like the object that I have seen so far with top and left options as well. Like the coordinates are in here. Let me see if I can change some other property of this. So the active, let's say set, I don't know, set top. I can do that, yeah. 200, this will make it basically disappearing if it works. Yep. So wait, some properties are fine, others are not. I don't get it. Okay, that's nice. Get back up. I need you. Don't disappear. I need you for testing. Okay, cool. So this moved the object. By moving the object, my assumption is that it decided to redraw the object and said, oh, opacity, let's ignore that. Let's ignore the opacity. Because my guess is that if I open right now the opacity in here, yeah, it's going to be 10. Oh, okay, wait a second. Because my assumption, of course, my assumption is that opacity is working. God, I think I know what's going on. So opacity is not even in here right now. But what if it was? Opacity is not 0 to 100, maybe it's like 0 to 1. I feel like that's like, that may be obvious to somebody, but yeah, set opacity 1. So yeah, sure. So my guess is that I need to do this and let's ignore this. Render, okay, let's remove this and check without rendering. Let's select this thing. Okay, so we still need 2 emojis. Okay, we need to still render everything. So okay, fine, finally. Okay. So we can do this. We can go and just say, okay, I'm going to change the opacity of this thing, and gradually it's going to like increase and decrease. So we're finally at the point where we can interact, and as you can see, we have like a separate component, like in this property panel in here. We have a separate component, and we have our canvas, and they can interact with each other, which is cool. Now, what I want to do is not only like, so let's see. Oh, I see. So this one is at 70 right now, but what we are not doing is we are not updating it with the current value of the opacity. So whenever I'm selecting something, so in here this will change. Whenever I'm selecting something, if there is an active object, so let's assume that we have this. Okay, if there is an active object, then I want to set up the property of the opacity. It has to be equal to the active object opacity, if there is any. So if there is no opacity, then it would be 100. But otherwise, so yeah, probably let's do it like this. Otherwise, it would be the opacity itself multiplied by 100. Let's see. So this is yeah. So this works, as you can see. Like I'm selecting the text, which is 70, and then I'm selecting a box, and this is 100. Then I'm going to put it to 10. This is 70 again. This is 10. So this works. Okay, that's cool. So there are a couple of things that I need to do, which is probably like save my game progress right now by creating a repository on GitLab. Yeah, I will use GitLab for that. Yeah. So I will create a repository, and after I do that, let me first. I will create the repository, and then I will install like Preter, because this thing, the fact that when I'm saving, this is not working is kind of bothering me right now. So I have this, how can I say, these styling issues right now. So let's see. Let me check. I will create on a different profile. Sign in. Okay. Hopefully I'm doing this off screen and I'm not sharing like personal data on my stream. Okay, verify code. Whatever. Verify code. Okay, perfect. So project will be called editor. So let's create actually a new subgroup. Subgroup name editor. This will be okay. So currently I'm doing like the creation of the project off stream, and the project name UI will be fine. I don't mind. But I'm not sure I'm even like logged in with the Git user. That could be an issue. Yeah, that could be an issue. So let me first set up okay, I will just add my personal configuration in here. This is fine. And then yeah, let's add everything as a first commit. And yeah, since I have the first commit in here, I need to add the origin. This is fine. And this also should be fine. Yes. Could not read from the remote. Yeah, this makes sense. I never like made the login from here. Oh, yeah, and also I'm using the wrong one. So let me git remote. Yeah. I need to remove this one. Git remote. What was it? Like remove origin. Git remote. Yeah. And because I was using the SSH, and I just wanted actually to not use SSH but the other username. Okay. I need to do let me try. Okay. So this one right now should be saved, like my progress are saved actually with GitLab. Cool. Okay, so this was the first thing that I wanted to do. The second one right now is Prettier. Prettier has to be installed like right now, immediately. Okay, so for Prettier there was some cool stuff, like also the reordering, and this is something that I also have in other projects, but it would take me time to recover that from other projects, I guess, or maybe not, but please be patient. I need to take some stuff. Can I do it from here? Can I do it from here? No. Huh. Okay, we're going to do it from scratch. Next, Prettier. Aslint, no. We are just going to start from Prettier. Aslint is something that I would love to have later, but for now, let's start with. I remember there was like a way to do that. There was like a guide for that. Yeah, something like that. Okay, Aslint plugin Prettier. Okay, but this one is with Aslint as well. Last time I did Aslint, it was a little bit messy, so I'd rather go with just Prettier right now. But let's see. So we have the package.json here. Okay, this one has also Aslint. I don't really want to have that right now. View Aslint config Prettier. No. So can I have just Prettier, please? Please. Prettier. Prettier configuration. Let's see. Should I just go with SLint as well? But this is like a dark path. I'm not sure I'm ready for that. Like this thing could end up in me trying to debug why the hell something is not working for like half an hour, because you have like different dependencies and everything like needs to magically work with each other. And this is like a combo that for me personally at least work only a couple of times. Otherwise you are always like trying to add other stuff into that. So yeah. No, this is from VS Code. So prettier. So I just want to. They used to have a module for that. I remember they used to have a module. Prettier and then SLint. You know what? I am about to give up on that and try to just have both of them working, I guess. But this is like simple, SLint, prettier, TypeScript. So it's everything but simple. Let's see. Config is pretty simple. Yeah, everybody's like emphasizing like the simplicity of it, while you have like 3 different tools that are needed to analyze your code. There is SLint, config prettier. So. SLint prettier, SLint config. So this is the thing, like plugin pretty recommended. I do remember this one. This one was very, very useful, because this one contains also like the reordering of like some stuff, but it's Tailwind reorder class next. Let's see about this. Okay. Please do a guide about it. Yes. So this is probably the only thing that I need. I hope so, at least. npm install like this. Okay. Then to your prettier configuration file, you need to add this. Cool. I don't have a prettier configuration file. I would really love to have one. Prettier, generate configuration file. What about this? Basic configuration. Yeah, I like that. We can have that, yes. Oh, JSON. Yeah, definitely nice. And how do you save it? Was it like prettier? Yeah. Like different things in here. It was like prettier RC, and then you have the JSON, right? Or something like that. I don't remember. Prettier RC.json. Here we go. This one. And then you just store this stuff inside and pray and hope. And it was like prettier RC. But I do remember I didn't used to have the prettier extension, like the JSON extension in here. I just would throw this inside and it would be fine. Semicolon is false, single quote is false. Please use double quotes for strings. Tab width, yeah, whatever. And then we used, no, there should be something else. There should be this thing here. The plugins part. Plugins. Okay, so, well, let's see. I'm going to close this thing. Let's try to open it again. So we have prettier now installed, but I don't have Amazon, and Amazon is actually required. Prettier install. What else? Prettier D. Yes, why not? We're going to install that one as well. And there is a new version of this, and that, and this is fine, and this is totally fine. So let's see what's going on. Let's see if this is going to. Okay, formatter failed. See conform info for details. slint. Okay, this didn't work out because there is error. An expected token is not a valid JSON. That's cool. I love it, the part when you cut it and I cannot read what do you mean by that, but syntax error. Syntax error for what exactly? So wait, do I have slint? Yes, ready. Prettier D is ready as well. So maybe it's starting from slint. Let me change it at least for now. So slint. Yeah, so for view it's starting from slint and then it's going to prettier D, prettier and stuff like that. Stop after first. How about no? How about we go like this, false. I don't know, this could work, or maybe not. So my idea is that it's going to try to format with other stuff. It didn't. What if, at least for now, we are not going to use slint? Let's just, yeah, we remove them to be sure, and one by one. This one. When I'm going to install slint later on, I will probably put everything back in here, but I just want to have at least prettier for now. At least that one. Let's try again. Failed. Conform. Oh, nice. At least we have something that we can read now. And apparently I forgot a comma in here. That's nice. We have something that we can work with. Let's try again. Oh, that's very nice. Finally we have something. As you can see, it basically modified everything because my previous styling was very, very bad. So okay, we have this one. Can we apply it to the entire project? Let's apply it to the entire project. Prettier, was it bright? Was it what? Help. What if I do it from here? And then I can do this, okay. So bright, yeah, there is a bright option, and there was dot, did it use recursion? No, it was automatic, I think. I didn't need to do anything. So prettier, bright dot. Okay, and it's automatically going to do that, and all those files are actually modified right now. So this should be fine. Let me see if I can do something without going crazy, like fix prettier applied. Will it ask me to log in? No? Did it just work? Let me check on GitLab if the repository is actually modified correctly. Editor. UI. Yeah, just now. So it just worked. That's so nice. Okay, cool. So we still need this one. This is still the main idea, and this is down. Okay. So we have the scene. Oh, okay. We have the tab. The tab with actually it's like 4 spaces. I hate it. Wait, let me see. Maybe I wanted to have it like 2 spaces. Let's see what is going to happen with this scene. Yeah. Okay, so I will need to run it again because the properties that I actually chose are not the one I wanted. Prettier bright. Fix prettier, but again. So we're going to push this thing. We are just going to forget about it for now. Okay, we have different things in here. We have the opacity that is working correctly. This is very, very nice. And it's changing. Okay, perfect. Now we can also start working maybe a little bit more on the styling and the fact that I want to have different properties. Oh, let me just answer very quickly a message. Yes, okay. Sure, let's start working on some styling. So we have some components in here, and I would love to have like our property bar that looks maybe a little bit nicer, and I need to have also like the opacity has to be like something that you can drag and drop, right? So what is the correct component for that? What is the correct component for that? I'm looking for a draggable something. Form. Could be inside of a form, but input. Is it like a draggable input? No, you're not calling it like that. Numbered field, progress, but it has to be controllable. Do they have a component like that in the first place? I'm not even sure anymore. Slider, yeah, that sounds about right. That's a slider. Okay, cool. Let's add a slider. So if everything works fine, I'm going to have a component. File utils already exists. Do you want to override it? Yes, and I'm really curious about what the override means in here. Okay, you updated it. You created new files. Let's see. So yeah, it created actually 2 new files and updated the utils. Utils. How did? What do you mean by updated? What did you update? What did you update? Oh, I see. So you enforced your own rules, which are going against my rules of Prettier. And why? Why would you do that? So right now I cannot even like undo it. Like I should have like the format on save, and the format on save means that basically when I have like in Prettier here single quote false, right? It should use the double quotes. So this thing should be yeah, sure. So we are undoing it. We are definitely undoing it. And please don't update the utils anymore. That's just wrong. Okay, so I want to add the slider now. So the slider will be something like this in the property panel, and we are going to use it instead of our input in here. So the default value, why are you an array? Oh, you can have multiple values. What? Oh, I see, that makes sense. That makes sense actually. Is it going to work immediately? Failed to resolve the component slider. Yeah, I was way too optimistic for that to work at the first try. I probably need to like restart it, and after I restart it, yeah, I'm going to see the component in here. It's not as nice as I hoped for, but I guess it's because there is no spacing around it or something like that. So property panel. Let's give it a little bit of space. Okay, but where is like the dot in here? I want the dot. What if I actually change this thing? And this is the entire slider with max min steps. Which is fine. Let's take the entire thing. So the default value actually has to be the opacity value. But if I'm going to have all of these, right, then I'm going to have component field, which is in that case the form, which when I will have a form, that's definitely useful. That's definitely what I want to have. But as of right now, I will go probably and just use the opacity model value. Number is not assignable to, please help yourself. Okay, name, update model value. So what are you going to update when you update the model value? You're going to update The opacity value. Yeah, so number is not assignable to whatever this is. So there is a payload, and then okay. So the payload in here, which is a number array, is going to be assigned to that, and the opacity should be the value. The opacity should be the value of the payload at the 0, right? Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? Payload number is not assignable to payload number any. Oh, okay. So you know what? I will not specify the type. You can help yourself with the type. Payload is possibly undefined. Well, I hope not. But yeah, it will be probably. So you know what? On change opacity is going to be our function, and the function in here, function change opacity. So opacity value, but this could be a number or undefined, and this thing has to be if opacity. Then we are going to say that the opacity value. Oh, it's better not to use this one. Let me just use value. Opacity dot value is equal to value, right? Nope. Right? Okay, this sounds better. This sounds better. Okay. Oh, and I have my dot. Yeah, finally. Okay, so here we go. Ooh, it works. It works already. That's so nice. That's so nice. So let's see if I'm going here. Okay, perfect, perfect. So this one is already as it's supposed to be. So it's already working. That's nice. That's nice. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with this. And now we probably will have just to add 100 more properties. That sounds fun. Before we do that, let's have a better, like, because otherwise I'm just going to throw like properties and not organize them. But there are some stuff that, for example, are like common across different elements. Like for example, let's see in here, we are taking just inspiration. I swear I'm not like copy pasting their entire platform. So in here we have some properties, like for example the dimension. Dimension is something that is common to everything, so basically doesn't matter what the fabric object is, it will probably have like x, y, and then so basically like top left position and then the width and the height. So this is going to be common across everything. And also there will be like rotation that so far I didn't use, but yeah, could be useful as well. Can you rotate object? Yeah. Oh, I see. And as they are rotating, this is okay. So my guess is that as soon as you select an object, you have to replace every single property in here from the active object that you have. That's my guess. Okay. So for the properties, there is also like shadow, border, fills. Also, there will be different properties that will be specific only for some types of things. For example, we have this rectangle. There is a fill and the border. So basically, like the background and the stroke, like the fill and the stroke. But what if I have a text? Oh, you see, it's a different one. So if I have a text, we are going to have like a different panel just for the text. And then we have the text on bot, which is something that I'm interested in. And here is a premium version. But since we are going to develop it, it will be free for us. Yeah, we are not going to put it premium for ourselves. And this is like text. But other than that, it still has like fills, border, shadow, and opacity, and dimensions, which is the default for everything. And this is like the zoom. Okay, so far sounds reasonable. So we are going to have those different properties, and also we need to have something to add the different objects. For example, whenever I want to add a square, I need to have like a button that is going just to add the square. But okay, let's start first from the properties. And in order to have them, I will want to have a form, I guess, because I saw it before and I liked it, so I want it. The preview here. So this is a form that has a label on top of it that looks pretty professional, looks pretty nice. Okay, so let's take it, and we are going to have like the form field. The form field is not something form. Okay, that sounds like a copy pasta to me. That literally sounds like a no-brainer. I'm just going to copy paste this thing, no remorse whatsoever, and then just to replace the slider, because the slider is already like done on my side. Okay, so on submit for the form, you can forget it. Capture one, what was like prevent, I guess so, I don't know. Component field and value, component field. So component field, is it like, oh, I see. Oh, they're also using Zod. They are also using Zod in here. So Zod basically is like Zod npm. This one is, yeah, TypeScript like a validation library. So this is going to validate the input. So far, I'm not sure whether this is a nice to have or is a must. Likely it will be a must very soon at least. But for now I think we can like survive without it. Can we? Let me think about other stuff. Like for example, let's suppose that you want to, what do we want to validate in the first place? Because we have different attributes, right? So the opacity, yeah, the opacity would make sense because you want to have a number which is from 0 to 100 or whatever. And this would make sense, but what about other properties like the dimensions, the scale, and the rotation? I don't know. It's probably useful to have it. Yeah, I wouldn't argue against that. I would say that it's useful to have it. Is it useful to have it now? I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. But in here, use form. From vValidate. Okay. And there is. Okay, so in this way we could have a standard way to set up properties, and if we have a standard way of setting up properties, we could also convert them into objects later on. Let me see. I think it's fine. Yeah, let's have it. So my guess is that vValidate is not in here. So pm vValidate. Not sure whether this should be a dev dependency or not, but for now I will just put it as a dependency. So we will have vValidate, and also I would like to have Zod. And in this case, we can like define what will be our form schema. Yes, I mean, it sounds reasonable. So let's just do this. Okay, this property panel. So in this case, let's start from here. We're not going to have it from here, but opacity, and we are going to import all as z from Zod. And then there was like the validation part, which is use form, right? Okay. To type schema, it's a different thing. So I need to also do that. To type schema from vValidate Zod. Wait, so they are also like combined together. So I needed to pm install that one as well. Okay, realize that okay, this should be fine. Okay, use form. It hasn't been used yet. Okay. And this is handle submit, but I don't really need the handle submit because I'm not submitting anything. But wait a second, because like, oh, I see. So there will be a function. So handle submit actually is just the function that will have as a callback all the values that are in the form schema, but I don't really care about that. I care more about like the ongoing changes. So whenever something is being changed, is it going to handle the submit for that? Do I need to do that? Probably it's the best way to do that, yeah. Probably so. Let's see if there is like something else that is going on with that. So I have the form schema. Let's have this one, and we are going to have the opacity value, whatever, or yeah, it's fine. It's fine, whatever. I don't care. Like I want just to have opacity in here. The thing is, the handle submit. Do we have like hand on change or on change? Update, handle reset, handle. What other properties you have? Help me out. Meta name. These are properties. Values. Values. So you can just grab the values. Can you watch the values? Values. Is declared. Is it something that I can export from here? Yeah, it should be. It should definitely be. So wait, can I just watch the values? If I can watch the values, that would be helpful. Values. Dot value. No, it's something that I can just watch like this. And then in here we're just going to say some values have changed. Value. Now this is not yet implemented anywhere because I don't have it in here, and I'm calling the onChange opacity right now. What I want to do instead is probably what they are doing in here. So they are doing like component field on update something. So and then component field something. So model one. I see. Because they are doing it for the name duration in here. Okay. So instead of that, we are going to have the opacity. Instead of duration, what did I do? No. Duration. Okay, we want to have opacity. Now this one will be the same component value that we have in here. Okay, just fix yourself, and then we are going to do this. Can we just, yeah, I think we are going to do both of them at the same time. Okay. Sounds about right. This is not going to change any value because we are not going to apply it on that thing anymore. So let me, so I got notified I will have to go to dinner soon. So let's wrap it up. But I need to first make this work. I want to make first this work. So at least I can have like multiple values that if I have a form in here, if I will have a form, I will be able just to add properties to that. So first of all, like this one, space y sounds about right, but this one doesn't sound right. Submit prevent, yeah. Opacity is okay. Button submit, I don't need that one. And then let's see what's the current status. Okay, nothing works. That's the current status. That's cool. Failed to resolve the component. Oh yeah, of course. Of course, we're using shed, so I need to install all of these components before I can use them. So okay, let's see. This has the slider, toast, and everything comes from the form. So my best guess is we are going to find the form in here. We validate. Oh, okay. So this is discussed. So this means that if I read the documentation, maybe I will understand stuff. I don't know. I couldn't like swear on that. Let's add some forms. So expectation is this is going to modify again my utils against my will, but whatever. I'm scared that if I say no, what will actually happen is it's going to not override something that is actually useful. So I will say yes, and then I will like roll back it eventually. But yeah, it's installed everything that probably I need. So form components are in here. Utils, did you change anything? You did not. You just. I will just use prettier again. This should update also the other component, and it should also update, yes, the utils. So for now, I just keep doing this just to be extra safe. And now that we installed them, I need to restart. Restart everything. Let's see if that will. Oh, one thing is this will be 100 the opacity. Okay, so okay, that's almost. Yeah, of course. Like I didn't change it, so when wait. But we changed some values, right? And by changing the values in here, he doesn't care. What if I tell you to check like a lot, like deeply check stuff? Are you going to notice? Yes, you are. You are actually going to notice. So target opacity. This is nice. This is nice. So what I'm going to do is probably I'm going to also apply them in here. Is this a good idea? It's not. Am I going to do it anyway? Yes, for now. Yes, for now. The thing is, a better idea would be to like just dispatch an event. So whenever something happens in the properties, you just dispatch an event and you say, whoever needs to listen to this event, just do whatever you need to do with that. And that would be like, you're changing the opacity. And then on the other side, the scene will like capture this information and say, okay, I'm listening to this event and I'm going to change the opacity of whatever is actually selected. Because otherwise doing stuff like this, like with the SVG store right now, what I'm about to do is I'm going to take the active object. So first of all, like const active, can I copy it? Okay, const active, okay, perfect. And we are going to keep the same properties. Oh dang, I see the point here. I see the point, because if I set the value of the opacity, what is going to happen is I see. What I wanted to do is just to iterate over every property and then say, okay, just apply all of them. But instead, I will have to handle some edge cases like the opacity in here, where the value is not the actual value, but it is the value like divided by 100. So that's not the best case scenario for me either. I think I can work with that for now. So let's suppose that we have the active object, and let's suppose also that we have value.opa. Oh, perfect. So if there is a value opacity, then you can set the value opacity divided by 100. What we actually want to have, wait, what is your problem right now? Must be of type any number of, what are you? You are a Z array, oh, yeah, sure. But wait, this is actually, I see, because it's a slider. Being a slider means that it has to have multiple values, and I need to just check one of them. So value opacity of 0, yeah, that should work. But I don't want to have this kind of operation for each of the properties. I may end up having it anyway, but it's not like this makes me happy. And this was required, right? Let me try to remove it right now. Yeah, I think it was required, like render all. Yeah. So this works. It seems a little bit clunky. So if I do request render all, I will find the difference. Yeah, it works anyway, and it's less clunky. So I already searched for that. Calling a request render, if one render request is running, one render otherwise it will call render all. If you want to force render, then you call render all. So ideally, you want to call request render all and not the render all itself. Render all is like forcing the command. Request is whatever has been modified should be updated. So this is fine. This this is not really that fine, because whenever, oh, I see, because whenever, of course, whenever we are going to change the value in here, we need to change the opacity, the initial value of the opacity. Where are you? You are in here, yes. So opacity value, no, I want to actually set the, where are you? Values, use form. Can I do that? What is the actually like values opacity? Can I do that? Should I do that? So let me, I will need to find a solution for that. Opacity. Okay. Okay, number is not okay. At least I'm starting to see the way to make it work at the very least. And this should be, please work with me on that. No overload match. Okay, what are you? Controls visibility. Okay, okay. Just pretend I didn't do anything. Let's just keep it this way. Let's just keep it this way. So in this case, yeah. So in this case, whenever I'm changing, nope. So set operation opacity failed. Target is read only. Target is read only, which makes absolutely sense. Initial values. What about? How do I change it though? Do you have a setter? No. Do you have something that can help me with that? Like set form values or something. Use form. Do you have to initialize it every single time? That's not nice if so. That's not nice at all. Because if I have to initialize it every single time, it doesn't even make sense. Let me think. How can we do that? Devalidate. Let's see. Features, created for schema, define examples. So is field dirty, handle submit. This is going to like use form. Okay. What if I want to change the values in here? What if I want to change the value of something? Use form validation schema. It's like I don't have access to that. It's like I don't have access to the actual form value. Okay, so use form is from what? From validate update field. Use field. I feel like this is not the solution to that. Use field. Simple name field. Okay. Use field. Nope. I wanted the form because the form looks nice. I want the form. So simple validation. Field. Use form. Let's see if there is anything about the form. So we have the initial values. This is nice. Okay, what if I want to change the values? Oh, wait. Set field value. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so I can do this. If I just extract the field. So there is set please value. This looks like a method. Okay, that's nice. And the idea is that values opacity, this is not going to work ever. And this is set field value. The value is opacity. Yes, that's auto-completing. I love it. So this actually could work. And it will be active opacity 100, right? Yep. And then, yes, it's working. So whenever I'm changing right now, yeah, it's going to change the active object, then it's going to disappear, and this is nice. So let's remove just the how many minutes. This is useless. This is the value. So right now I will have just 60 minutes. Doesn't make any sense. This would be 60, and do I need to have a 0? No, I don't. Why would I have that? text justify between. How about justify center? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe it's cooler if it's on the end, but then I have to have like some spacing in here. So W40, we got it, we don't like it. We probably want something like this, and if py is like this, we're going to have px show, right? Yeah, so it's going to automatically switch. Okay, I don't know, it looks a little bit better. I would say it looks a little bit better. So px2 is actually a little bit small, I guess, but hey, not that bad, I guess. And it's not duration. So there is duration somewhere, which should be opacity. Opacity. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So that's cool. That's cool. This is fine right now. This is fine. Now the next thing would be okay. Of course. So whenever we are dealing with numbers in JavaScript, we have to remember that JavaScript is not it's not that good with numbers. It's not that good with numbers. So 55 is actually this thing here right now. We will have to like clump those numbers and also floor them and remove whatever float part we have of them. So that's also something that I want to add right now in my to-do. So here, remember to do check for float numbers and use floor. Okay, that's something that I want to take care of probably later. So I will probably go for dinner right now, and if I have time, I will probably be back later for maybe another hour or so. So yeah, that will be it for now. Thank you for watching, and yeah, please leave a follow if you're interested in this kind of content. And yeah, I will work on the next steps, which will be like adding more properties to our editor here. Okay, thank you.